Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering this week and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Westwood, and I'm here today with senior editor David Mark. And David, Congresswoman Liz Cheney went down by a very wide margin in the Wyoming Republican congressional primary this week. There's been a lot of takes about what that means, but what do you think her loss says about the state of the Republican Party?
It's really interesting. I think perhaps the best take came from somebody who was hardly impartial, but had an interesting view on it. Eric Trump, the son of former President Donald Trump, who said that the Trump family, Donald Trump particularly, has taken down now the Bushes, the Clintons, and the Cheneys, three of the most powerful families in American politics from both sides of the aisle, and it really is true.
Last night, my father killed another political dynasty, and that's the Cheneys. He first killed the Bushes, then he killed the Clintons. Last night, he killed the Cheneys.
He's come in, he's dominated. Liz Cheney is the latest political casualty of that, losing overwhelmingly to Harriet Hageman, a Wyoming environmental lawyer who nobody had even heard of a year ago. And now Cheney will soon be a former member of Congress.
So in her free time that she'll have soon, she's teased that she's maybe considering a presidential run. What do you think her constituency would be if she were to run in the Republican primary?
Well, it's interesting. She's got an unusual lame duck period in Congress. Usually after a member loses their primary, they kind of slink away, but she is still vice chair of the January 6th committee in the House, so she still has 3.5 months, 4 months to be prominent, to be out there on television, to hold primetime television hearings. After that, though, I think it does get tougher. Once she's a former member of Congress, no matter how many TV gigs she does, if you remember John Kasich, the former governor of Ohio, who's a really critical critic of Trump from the Republican side, he comes up on TV every now and then, but nobody really sees him much. So I think it's going to be a lot tougher than it might seem for her to retain that visibility for what's still a set of primaries a year and a half away, more than that even.
Sarah Palin is attempting a political comeback in Alaska. This past week, Alaska also held its primaries. How is her comeback going? What's it shaping up to look like?
It's a little mixed right now. Alaska has an unusual set of primaries for a couple different reasons. One, they've got the election to finish out the final few weeks of the late Republican Congressman Don Young, and then an election for the entire term starting in January 2023. Palin is actually behind her Democratic opponent, Mary Portola, a former state lawmaker, which would be a major sea shift in Alaska politics if the Democrat won. That seat's been held by Republicans for going on 50 years now. So it doesn't look like Palin's comeback it's not set yet whether she's going to win or lose, but it's not exactly off to an auspicious start either.
Alaska's ranked choice voting system made things a little different this year. We won't know whether Lisa Murkowski or Kelly Tshibaka is going to emerge, as the top Republican, whereas maybe we would know if it was a normal primary.
Right.
Do you think that Murkowski is vulnerable to being overtaken by Tshibaka in November?
I think the fact that she made it into the next round bodes pretty well for her. The thing about ranked choice voting is it takes some finesse, some honey rather than vinegar, you might say, persuading people, because it's not just about getting people to vote for you, it's about then getting your rivals' votes to go away from them if you're there to basically be the second and third choice of other candidates, not just the first choice for somebody else, which is starkly different from how most campaigns are run. That's what I think is giving Sarah Palin some problems, in that she's run a highly negative campaign and she hasn't really given people much reason to rally around her.
Well, David, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
You can get more reporting from David and the rest of the political team at washingtonexaminer.com.